Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So yesterday I did Washington Prime versus Messina as the assistant, as they're obviously two of the top three generals in the game and the best assistants in the game. Now I want to do the be all end all. Who is the better lead? Now Messina, people have said that he's a better lead than Napoleon, but people couldn't really afford him. He was $7,000 or $8,000 for all of his fragments, and it's actually really, really lucky for people that someone who rivals all of them just came along and is a fairly cheap option. Like if you got those tokens, you can get him right in here. Let me show you right here. So this is where you will get Prime, and it's awesome. I hate that there's two Primes now because Napoleon's name was Prime. Now there's two. But anyways, I'm going to be comparing Washington versus Napoleon. Washington and Messina don't pair. So that's not really going to be an option here. So you're either going to go Napoleon and Messina or Napoleon and Washington. But which order are you going to go? Washington or Napoleon? That's what we're doing here. See who the better lead is. See who you could use as an assistant. It seems like you shouldn't go with Messina anymore. Like if you're starting over, if you didn't have any of them and you were just picking, because Messina doesn't take the attack book and he has far less march size than Napoleon. So first thing I want to do when comparing them is I took a picture because I have both, but I can't really use my generals because they're in my inventory, so they have my victory column buffs, they have a little bit of Ascension, or my Napoleon is maxed out. So I want to get them at their original state so we could look at their growth rate. So Washington comes in at 126 and a growth rate of 899 for leadership. And that trumps Napoleon by a lot. Don't even have to debate it. Napoleon has an attack of 124 and 904. And Prime Washington has 128, 902. So they're going to end up about equal on that. Defense, 123 and 886, 121 and 901. So Napoleon's going to end up pulling away on that at the end, but it's not going to be too much of a drastic difference. And politics, 113, 862, 102, 822. No one cares about it. So let's get into the important stuff. So I'm going to call that all basically a wash. Washington's going to end up with a bit more HP at the end of the day. In fact, like even a significant amount more HP. But Napoleon's going to have slightly more attack and defense. So shouldn't really make too much of a difference. You're going to have a good lead either way, no matter which one you go with. Now, what we really have to look at here is their ascensions. We got to look at everything, right? So I'm going to be comparing all specs, all covenants, and the ascension, because you're going to be ascending both if they're the lead. So I'm going to compare them both, see who the better lead is, and then who the better combo is with the lead if you're going to use them. And basically all you got to do there is see who has the better ascension, because you'll get everything else, right? And if they're fairly equal in the attributes, you only really have to worry about the ascension. And one other thing is, I believe Napoleon has a skin. Does he? Yes, right there. So Napoleon has a skin. I don't have it, so that could be a factor for some of you as well. Now, so I don't have it, right? So that's my awakened one. That's my Prime awakened, but I don't have the skin. I am using it. Yes, I am. I do have a Napoleon skin. There we go. Awesome. My decision's easy. I love Napoleon. Anyways, let's get back to where we were. So the left-hand column here is what they have without Ascension. These numbers on the side is pure Ascension. So let's look at them first. So non-Ascension, Napoleon has a 40-point advantage on attack. Washington has a, what's that? 37 point advantage on HP, non-Ascension. That's pretty significant, but, attack's obviously more important. And defense, Napoleon wins by 15, but Washington comes in a whopping 25% higher on march size. That is hard to ignore. Like, you cannot ignore it. But looking at them right now, what I would see here looking at this, without looking at the Ascension, Washington would be the better assistant for Napoleon, because you're going to get all that march size and you're going to get Napoleon's better attack. Now let's look at the Ascension. Napoleon ascends to 60 on attack, while Washington is only 35. So Napoleon pulls away even more. He has 225 attack to Napoleon's 160, if you add them both up. HP, Napoleon wins by 10, and he loses on defense by 30. And he loses on Ascension by 3. So Napoleon's Ascension is way better. Napoleon's basic stats are better. Their core attributes are pretty similar. With Washington, I'll give us a little advantage to him because he did win the attack. So what I'm seeing here is you should run Napoleon as the lead with Washington as the assistant. My reasoning is you're going to get that 30 march size from Washington. And then you're going to get the 8 increase from Napoleon. Because you're only going to get one of these, right? You're only going to get the 8 or the 5. You're not going to get both. So you can use Napoleon, get his 5 and his 8 and Washington's 30. As opposed to Washington's 30 and his 5 and then Napoleon's 5. You end up 3% higher on march size by doing it that way. And you end up a lot better on all the other stats. So Napoleon is still the king of the mounted generals, but I would say that Washington comes in as just a superstar, juggernaut assistant. There's never been an assistant like him before. So that's what I'm going to go with. That's my opinion. I know some people are going to say, like, you don't have to do that with the document. You just have to do this. But you know what? That's how I like to compare them. I like to have it on paper for me right there. I'm sure some people like to see it like that as well. And obviously there are spreadsheets out there that'll tell you exactly what everything is and keep in mind all the attributes, and then it'll let you subtract skins and whatnot. But it's looking to me like I should probably switch away from Messina as the assistant and go with Washington as the assistant instead. It's something I'm going to have to really give some thought to in the next coming days as All-Stars does approach. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about all that, and subscribe.